If you ain't talking money, then I don't want to talk.
Still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Then I'm still gon' stunt. Diamonds look like they glowing. 50 stacks all singles, I make it look like it's snowing. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam. Treat them like Jack boys. Catch them slipping and slam.
Get ready for the most glamorous event of the year, the U2B Streets Awards 2025, February 9, 2025, at Laven Midtown, located at 641 West 42nd Street, New York City. Join us at 12 p.m. for the pre-show red carpet extravaganza and a chance to win $500 in our fashion contest. From 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., enjoy the gold tier experience with speakeasy confessionals, press interviews, and premium cocktails. At 4 p.m., the platinum tier includes performances, a comedic host, an awards ceremony, dinner, and gift bags. From 8 p.m., the diamond tier features a VIP after party with a DJ, aerial dance, fire performances, and gift bags. 24 YouTube categories and many nominees. Can't attend in person? Stream the entire event live on Hush and Move Media via Uscreen for just $9.99. Get your early bird tickets before September 15, 2024. Visit now. Be a sponsor. Be extraordinary. Be there. Be great.
Welcome to another edition of We-On-Loc Nation channel. We're going to immediately shift our brains to Trump's executive orders, which he made about 37 of them. 37 executive orders, but we're just going to get into the meat and potatoes of it. Have a fair use sign. Fair use. We're going to watch this content as it plays right about now.
To kill children. Children are going to die because of the choices that they made.
Fear, anxiety, and outrage after President Trump signed an executive order Monday, his first day in office, declaring the federal government will only recognize two sexes, male and female.
I believe that it is a cynical use of disinformation to distract people from the real problems in their lives at the expense of our kids.
The executive order states, quote, "It is the policy of the United States to recognize two sexes, male and female. These sexes are not changeable.
It could reinforce that there's something wrong with you. You are wrong. Terms like abomination, sin, but hopefully, what I really hope it says to transgender youth, there's some very ignorant people in power.
Amid all the uncertainty, some parts of this executive order are already being implemented, like passport and travel restrictions and shelter access. Ben Klein, an attorney for GLAD Law, has challenged policies like this in the past and says many of these orders could be in court for years.
We do have significant legal precedent interpreting federal laws in ways that protect transgender people. Obviously, courts will now be ruling in the context of these federal policies that Trump is trying to implement, but the EO cannot override a court's interpretation of the law.
Other aspects are more opaque, with federal policy confusion and a divisive, unclear legal landscape state to state.
The real impact of this order is the kind of fear and chilling effect it's going to have. It's going to create confusion, chaos, fear for transgender people.
That's why advocates say this executive order and the many more they expect to come will be a rallying call for affirmative spaces, coalition building, and community-focused supports outside of the law and political conversation.
It's important for you to understand that you are not alone. There is support, especially in a state like Connecticut.
And advocates are bringing back the True Colors Conference, what was once the largest LGBTQ youth gathering in the country, this March.
We need to give our young people and those who support them a space to learn, to celebrate, and to reconnect. And while all this plays out here at the state capitol, lawmakers are already responding to the Trump administration proposing protective and proactive policy. Reporting at the state capitol, Emma Wolf, Fox 61.
This is where you know that the world has gone to shit. Now, one of the executive orders, which one that I oppose as being righteous, is that a male recognizes a male, a female recognizes a female. Too many times that we have to deal with this on a regular basis where people are getting confused. They started looking at like, are you a male? Are you a female? And blah, 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 blah. That's why we have unisex bathrooms. So there will be no confusion. So now Trump comes in and everybody's up in the uproar. Oh my God, he's going to take away our genders. Oh my God. Back to business as usual. That's what I would call it. Back to business as usual. Now, like I told you before, he has about 37 of these babies, in which he was not playing, ladies and gentlemen. He was not playing when he came out with these executive orders. And I could read them out to you. Unleashing Americans' energy. Let me scroll down a little bit more. Now, I ain't gonna read them to y'all. One of them, he signed it January 20th. He signed all of these in January 20th, starting with the unleashing of American energy, declaring a national energy emergency, putting America first in international environmental agreement. Some of this other stuff I really don't care for. Holding former government officials accountable. Holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure and sensitive government information. Defending women from gender ideologies, extremists, and resorting biological truths to the federal government. Effective immediate. All of this is pretty much 120 days. Some of this is effective immediately. I'm getting to that, Craig. I'm getting to that. Damn, I'm getting to that. Depending on genders, establishing and implementing the president's Department of Government efficiency. Another dead shit. American First policy detected to the secretaries of state, effective immediately. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Clarifying the military's role in protecting from terrorists. He put in a new word, terrorists, into the United States, which is going to be effective in 10 days. Protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship, effective in 30 days. Securing our borders, effective immediately. Effective immediately. And this is all in January 20th. Restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety, effective immediately. Protecting American people against invasion, effective immediately. Agency reporting progress condition in 90 days. I'm gonna get to Craig's favorite one in a minute. Don't worry. Enforcing the hyped amendment. I don't even know what that is. The Iron Dome for America. What the hell is that? The Iron Dome for America. This order seeks to deploy the next generation missiles to defend SHIELD to defend the United States against aerial attacks. The defense secretaries must submit a plan for the SHIELD within 60 days. So that's what that means. That means. Restoring America's fighting force. That's military shit. And basically that's it. Now for the cryptocurrency, he already signed the thing for the cryptocurrency. So, and for those American chips to come back. Now, what does that mean for America? More money. Here's the problem. Who's going to get those jobs? Certainly not us. I don't think we're going to be getting those jobs. If you can prove me wrong, prove me wrong. But as an American African, I don't think that black people are going to be getting those jobs. I mean, there are going to be a few here and there in between, but white America, as you said, Montrese, should have been a little bit to the right, right? A little bit to the right. And then that would have been done for. He said, nigga, who is us? Fine, Craig. You want to play it that way, goddamn it. You want to play it that way. Don't get me in my bad side. Let me see. Executive orders. President Trump's executive orders. let's get into it, shall we? Oh, these people are on the uproar. And let's not forget about the women on the other side. The women on the other side with the little colorful hair and little colorful nails, and they're marching for civil rights, which doesn't make any sense. Sex and genders. Oh my goodness. Boy, this was a rude awakening. This was a rude awakening. Listen, I told y'all it ain't gonna matter what he does. It's back to business as usual. Back to business. Everybody's gonna be making money. He's talking about getting rid of taxes. You're getting rid of taxes and putting it on the people who are definitely making money overseas, and we don't have to pay taxes at all. Just imagine us not paying any taxes. Damn. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't want to miss anything. Important. Oh, this is gonna piss off the square.
President Trump keeps his promise to get wokeness out of the United States Armed Forces as he signs multiple executive orders to reshape the military.
Senior White House correspondent Peter Ducey has all the details. Hey, Peter.
Good morning. And standing here, it feels like it's been more than a week and a day since President Trump was sworn in, because so far, and we've got a graphic here, he signed 38 executive orders, and he signed them in the Oval Office and at an arena and at his resort in Florida. The latest ones came last night, and what they do is reinstate troops who refused the COVID vaccine, about 8,000 people, develops an American Iron Dome missile defense system like what they have in Israel, formulate a new policy on transgender troops. That is up to Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, to figure out how that's going to work, and then ban DEI initiatives in the military.
I'll be signing 4 new executive orders. First is that I'm directing our new Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, is what we need, to immediately begin the construction of a state-of-the-art Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be able to protect Americans. You see that with Israel, where out of 319 rockets, they knocked down just about every one of them. So I think the United States is entitled to that, and everything will be made right here in the USA, 100%.
And the Trump cabinet is growing. His Treasury Secretary was easily confirmed last night. Scott Bessent got 68 votes. Sean Duffy for transportation is expected to get bipartisan support as well later on today. Nothing public on President Trump's schedule that we have seen, but he is planning to send his press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, out to the briefing room for her first appearance there. Back to you.
It'll be historic. Hey, Peter, going back to when you were talking about how Donald Trump revoked the Biden policy allowing trans people to serve in the armed forces. The number of trans people in the armed services right now, I know there was an NIH study or estimate done like 5 years ago at 8,000. Who knows how many there are today? What's going to happen to those people?
It sounds like once Pete Hegseth comes up with the new policy, they are going to be discharged. And it's not essentially what the argument is in the fact sheet that we were given about that executive order. President Trump does not think that transgender people are physically or mentally stable enough to serve in the armed forces. And they specifically cite readiness with transition surgeries. If you have a transition surgery, the recovery time and the narcotics that you have to be on as part of the process could affect your readiness for up to 12 months. They say that is what their concern is. So if there's a readiness concern, you're basically booted from the military.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you, Peter. So I guess you're waiting for Pete to get the job, but they've certainly gotten wokeness out of the military. DEI is going to be history. They're going to enforce it And goodbye DEI among Veterans Affairs too. 60 DEI employees over Veterans Affairs with salaries totaling more than $8 million. We're told they're done. There's no need. If you talk about cutting, they're cutting DEI programs everywhere, but especially in the military. And I thought people said something interesting on the step yesterday. And I'm going to enforce it to make sure you're not going around me. But when it comes to the Tuskegee Airmen, they thought that was a little, that was passive aggressive. We're going to cut that off because that's DEI. No, it isn't. It's a fantastic military story about the first black fighter pilots.
It was
Make America Great Again. Make America Great Again. You obviously thought that he was kidding when he said those words at random, and not in vain. His first term, the first 4 years, the first 4 years, he was just setting some shit up. This second term, it's going to be a fucking firecracker. But we all knew this. As black people, we all know what the deal was. We all know that he was going to take away our civil rights, take away, possibly put prayers back in schools. Possibly put prayers back in schools. Now, is it going to affect us in any way? Not really, because what civil rights did we have before? What rights did we have before then? Of course, everything was a little bit different, but he's thinking in terms of going back into the 60s. We all knew this coming in, and we ignored all signs. So just be prepared. Hey, Lisa, just be prepared to muster up some of that money and to develop your own establishments. Build from within. Because I guarantee you, if I'm thinking what I think I'm thinking, you're gonna go back into slavery anyway. Boy. Let's see. Oh, and the transies, we best not work with the transies. We best not work with them, because they're just like the Indians, just like the Indian, just like the Italian, just like the white man, just like the yellow man. They don't have our best interests at heart either. So who do we have? We have zero allies. It's something that Richard Pryor said before he passed away. It's like, if you want justice, that's what you find, just us. Let me continue.
Intentionally cut to try to cut the knees out of this administration. And to make Pete seem like a racist, make the president. The whole point of the Tuskegee Airmen is their merit and acknowledging their merit. I'm just glad that we finally got a Pentagon that is worried about metrics. And the metrics have to be, can you do the Oak course? Can you do the job? Are you lethal enough? Can you go after the enemy? Do you have the mental capacity to decipher the enemy versus friend? That's all I want. I don't care about getting women in. I don't care about getting diversity numbers in.
But what this sack of potato skins, and that's the nicest I'm ever going to be, it's going to clear up pretty soon. This is the nicest I'm ever going to be. If you look at the Chinese military, ran by this young cat, Qing Wing, whatever his name is. Does he have females in his military? No. Does Russia have females in their military? No. I think we're the only. Does Britain have females in their military? No. I think we are the only society that will welcome a female into their military, and I really don't mind it. I mean, most likely they're going to be operating computers. But let's face this. Ever since Joe Biden has been in office, this whole thing about this welcoming genders into our livelihood, into our living room, has basically not only ruined our lives, but have ruined our military and has lowered our defenses. People think that we're weak now. Even though we're the strongest military on earth, people obviously think that we are weak. And so everybody has a bomb. Everybody has a bomb now. Everybody. You want to pull the trigger? I'm going to pull the trigger. No, I'm going to pull the trigger. No, you're going to pull it. I'm going to pull the trigger. We seen this coming, and personally, I was not surprised when Trump took back office that these things were going to happen. Let's continue.
I want to be feared by the world, and finally, we have people in there that's willing to do that.
About defense. He also signed an executive order saying if you lost your military career, and 8,000 people did because they refused to have the vaccine, then you could be reinstated with back pay. So we interviewed Lieutenant Colonel.
We're still talking about we're still talking about this thing to this very day. It's ridiculous.
Douglas Haig, he has served our country in the Army. He was 2 years away from retirement, and he said he resigned from the military when they were forcing him to do this. Didn't want to say, I'm going to claim an exemption.
I just said a few minutes ago that the United States is the most powerful force on earth when it comes to the military. Ain't nobody gonna want to fuck with us. Ain't nobody gonna fuck with us. But people are not dumb. They see through the surfaces of what's going on in the United States. They see through the surfaces. But thanks to the election and thanks to people getting Trump back into office, which people don't get Trump back in office, the electoral colleges get select presidents. Things can go back to business, not back to normal, back to business. What do I mean when I say back to business? What do I mean when I say back to business? I want you to think about this. What does We-On-Loc mean when I say back to business? Think about it. It don't mean you. It don't mean you.
Like a religious exemption because he said that wasn't true. Right. So because they were kicking him out, he just said he resigned. So he's not sure he's eligible for the reinstatement, but this is what he said about Donald Trump and what he went through.
I think me, like many others, were ecstatic about it, at the idea of the potential to rejoin the service. You know, I spent 18 years on active duty service. It was my career, my entire adulthood, and I, I lost that, and now there's the potential to regain it now. So very appreciative. I'm thankful that President Trump made these promises early on and is now following through with them. So I didn't want to get the vaccine. I made it clear early on in my, before the mandate, actually, to my leadership, that I was not planning to get it. Once it was mandated, I told them I wasn't going to, and I submitted my resignation. Me personally, I love the idea of going back to this service. It's what I'm passionate about.
He was an officer. Let me just say one thing, if that's okay. This is what he did for our country. Officer in the Army, completed airborne school, Ranger school, served as an infantry officer, communications officer, 2 deployments to Iraq, 1 in Kuwait, and then rejoined as a drilling reservist when that mandate was finally dropped. So I hope he is eligible. I hope they do case-by-case basis. If you retired or you resigned because of that mandate, then hopefully you can go back and serve and get that back pay.
Right. I just like to add this before we move on from defense. The president brought it up in every speech and no one ever reported it because they were more into finding something controversial about his campaign remarks. But he said, I signed a an executive order to start building the Iron Dome for this country, missile defense. Now, to keep up with the next hypersonics and everything, to make sure it's not outdated, it's going to need constant improvement. But he said, I would watch what was happening with Israel. I saw them knock down all those missiles that were coming from Iran. I've seen it happen regularly, what's happening in Ukraine. Why don't we have it in our country? So it's going to cost something like $250 billion. Congress has got a green light.
And he's going to get all that in taxes, not from us. Because remember, he's trying to get rid of taxes for the American people altogether. And he's going to put it into people's and other people's hands, like people from overseas or something. And if you don't believe me, I guess I'm going to have to go to a particular channel or go to a particular person who has actually got caught up in these sort of things. Lisa, you know this person. Fair use.
Okay, y'all. So once again, Trump is out here shocking the shit out of people with the stuff that he is doing. So if you have not heard lately, he is out here making comments like this.
On day one, I immediately halted the hiring of any new IRS agents. You know, they hired or tried to hire 88,000 new workers to go after you, and we're in the process of developing a plan to either terminate all of them or maybe we'll move them to the border. I think we're going to move them to the border. Well, they're allowed to carry guns. You know, they're so strong on guns, but these people are allowed to carry guns, so we'll probably move them to the border.
Now, even though he was joking about sending him to the border, and maybe he wasn't joking because Trump be laughing, but he don't be playing. Kind of like me, I be laughing, but I don't be playing. I be serious about what I'm saying. But he definitely has an issue with the IRS and what it is that they're doing. I find it really interesting that for everybody that was upset with Trump, a lot of you guys were talking about how this man got all this money and he doesn't even pay his taxes. Well, he used loopholes and things that are out there, so all the money he made, he didn't have to give it all back in taxes, right? And so you can't be mad at that. But it seems like to me that as a business owner, he is one that understands giving away taxes and feeling like we shouldn't have to give away taxes to that extent. The Biden administration that we had, y'all beloved Kamala, that y'all was all like, yeah, she the one. Well, anyway, they got all of these IRS agents that they hired, the ones that Trump is talking about sending to the border, and they got them to do audits on everybody. But the people they were auditing was everybody who makes under $400,000 a year.
One of the issues here is that President Trump found out that a majority of the audits that were done, a Treasury Inspector General report found that more than 90% of the agency audits between 2019 and 2023 were taxpayers making less than $400,000 a year. Chris, I mean, the president already said he'd like to create an external revenue service to collect profits and tariff from foreign countries. His Treasury Secretary nominee, Scott Bessent, could be confirmed by the Senate as early as today. This is important. This will give the markets clarity, Chris.
Now, $400,000 a year, some of y'all say that's a lot of money, Michi. Well, it's $400,000 and under, right? So that comes for everybody else. These are the people that were getting audited, which means people like you, even if you're not making $400,000. But remember, there are plenty of people making millions and millions of dollars a year. And they're not the ones being audited, even though they're the ones making all of this money. So Trump said something else that was very interesting, and we'll play that now. But apparently there was a time in this country where this country got their money off of tariffs instead of taxing the American citizen.
We're going to establish a very fair system where money's going to come into our coffers, and America is going to be very rich again, and it's going to happen very quickly. It's time for the United States to return to the system that made us richer and more powerful than ever before. You know, the United States in 1870 to 1913, all tariffs, and that was the richest period in the history of the United States, relatively speaking. In other words, relatively. And they set up the Great Tariff Commission of 1887.
YouTube always does this. YouTube always comes with the scramble type shit and messes up everybody's audio at first, and sound like robots and shit. But it'll clear up sooner or later. But I told you.
And this commission had one function: what to do with all the money that we took in. It was so enormous that they had no idea. Yeah, it was a blue ribbon committee. It was set up 1887, and what to do with all of the money that we had. And again, Teddy Roosevelt was a beneficiary, because when McKinley was killed, he took up with his vast sum of money, and he did all of those national parks and all of the other things. And I'm not knocking him, but he was given a vast amount of money, and that was all made through tariffs. We had no.
You know what? It would be a good idea if I were to do this. I'll be back. Okay, I's back. It didn't take me a couple of seconds. My point. Wait. Okay. What is it that I want to be clear? What is it that you're missing? When Trump took office, his first term, "Make America Great Again" was not just a slogan. "Make America Great Again" was something that he was going to do. That was the agenda of it all. Are we not getting that? That was just the agenda. This is his second term. And everything that's going to be in effect for the next is going to be in effect for the next, I would damn near say, past 4 years. I can be wrong. Because, again, he has to fight state and he has to fight other people as well. But my point of contention is this man, Donald J. Trump, was going to turn everything black and white again. That's the whole point. This is Trump. Same plan as before, right? I mean, we can forget about the whole 2025 episode. That's nothing but New World Order crap. We don't have to worry about all that because most of that shit's being done already. It's a 90. It's like a damn near a 900-page booklet that hasn't been read all the way. But we all understand where the point of contingency is coming from, where he's coming from. But I'm just pointing you to the obvious that Trump isn't playing. And to the people who personally doubted for the simple fact that he was going to actually do this. But more important, but let me ask you this question. What was going to be so different under Kamala? What was going to be so different under Kamala, under the system that we're in white supremacy? What was going to be so different? Nothing. She wasn't going to have your best interest, nor he has your best interest. So what I'm saying to you is we're all fucked. Well, let me get us back on track here. If I said what I said earlier, but our conversations don't mean shit, Craig, because you don't hear, we listen, you listen, but you don't hear. I say build institutions, you said it don't work. Well, it's going to have to, it's something's going to have to happen, because unless you are willing, unless he is willing to come to terms with black folks, unless he is willing to sign that, what was that Ice Cube, what was that plan that he basically stole from Ice Cube? I'm trying to figure out what plan what did he take from Ice Cube and turn it into his idea. Unless he's willing to sign that and black people are willing to play along, and believe me, black people are willing to play along, we're fucked. So we might as well just sit back, crack open a cold one, and enjoy the fireworks.
Income tax came in 1913. As I said in my speech last week, instead of taxing our citizens to enrich foreign nations, we should be tariffing and taxing foreign nations to enrich our citizens. Does that make sense, right? Under the American first economic model, as tariffs on other countries go up, taxes on American workers and businesses will come down, and massive numbers of jobs, in fact, will come home. The job creation will be enormous, in particular.
Now, with that said, I just want to first say that tariffs seem like a brand new cuss word, because the word tariff be getting these other countries in check. I'm gonna add that to my repertoire of cuss words, because it seems like it hit harder than anything that you could say that's another cuss word, right? Because Colombia, if you don't know, Trump was sending the immigrants over there, and they was like, don't be sending these immigrants over here, we're not gonna take them. So Trump said, what? Call them on the phone and tell them I said tariffs, baby. And they heard the word tariff, and they was like, what? Wait a minute. Not only will we take them, we will actually send some planes over to come and get them.
Tonight, a Colombian plane lands at MCAS Miramar to pick up deported migrants. Hello, and thank you for joining us tonight at 11 o'clock. I'm Kimberly Hunt.
With you, I am Wale Ali. The U.S. and Colombia pulling away from the brink of a tariff war. This comes after President Donald Trump threatened tariffs and sanctions on Colombia for initially refusing to accept military flights carrying deportees over the weekend.
ABC 10 News reporter Laura Acevedo was breaking down the situation as the U.S. and Colombia make a deal on a deportation flight.
Well, Kimberly and Wale, that Colombian plane landed here at MCAS Miramar just before 8:30 tonight. And roughly 5 minutes before that touchdown, we saw Border Patrol vans escort 2 buses onto the base. After a weekend of back and forth, a Colombian Air Force plane landing at MCAS Miramar to pick up 110 deportees. The Colombian government announcing their plans to pick up their citizens on X, sharing these pictures of the crew before takeoff. A CBP spokesperson confirming the plane was expected to land at Miramar Monday evening, and that those being deported were CBP detainees, all Colombian nationals. The spokesperson says all of them were apprehended by CBP agents and officers, primarily Border Patrol, adding most had crossed the border illegally. The diplomatic showdown started early Sunday morning when Colombia blocked 2 U.S. military flights carrying undocumented immigrants from landing in the country, as the flights were already in the air. Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, saying on X Sunday he returned the planes because he says a migrant is not a criminal, adding they should be treated with dignity. Within hours, President Trump promising to impose 25% tariffs on Colombian imports and visa sanctions. By Sunday evening, the White House saying Colombia's president had agreed to Trump's terms.
There's a new sheriff in town, and the sheriff is fond of tariffs, shall we say.
Ron B. is an expert on international relations who says having a country send a plane to come pick up their own nationals is unheard of. He thinks this weekend's back and forth sets a precedent for other countries.
So this word tariff seems to work a whole lot, and apparently got a whole lot of power behind it. And according to Trump, it has a whole lot of economical advantages to it. So his thing is, let's start taxing those outside of the country and making them pay us for whatever it is that they're paying for. And let's not tax the American citizens like we are now. I don't know if this is something he could do. Everybody else said there was a whole lot of stuff that he wasn't going to do, but he's doing it. But the fact that he's even mentioning it and trying, At the end of the day, it will be very interesting to see what happens. But I'm not ever mad at a president that wants to come in and do away with taxes for the American people. You know, I think one of the biggest problems that we all have with the immigrants in this country is that the money that was taking care of them comes from our tax dollars. We go and we work hard every single day. And before you even get your money, they've already taken what part? The IRS. Uncle Sam done took his cut before he ever hands you your check. And so they take that money from taxpayers and then they turn around and they just give it away in all of these ways that whether we agree with it or not, they don't even care. Just like they were giving the World Health Organization $500 million a year to be a part of that, while other countries are paying what, $39 million a year to be a part of it. But did they ever ask us, did we care about how they waste our money and our taxes? Because that's actually your money. They take it from us and then they tell us how they're going to spend it without giving us any opportunity to decide how we would like to see those dollars spent. And a big part of our outrage with the immigrants is that they're getting all the benefits that are not given to American citizens, and the money comes from the American citizens. So you taking our money, that's our money to take care of these people, and then you won't help us. That's a double slap in the face. So with that said, it would be very interesting. I don't know if this is something that Trump can do, but I'm definitely down for no taxes. I'm definitely down for that. And, tariff all the way. Go on, get that money from somewhere else. And to end it off with all of this stuff that Trump has been doing lately, he decided to post to his social media page a picture of him with the words, well, the abbreviation for it, fuck around and find out. He said he's not playing with none of y'all.
Damn. Well, you knew this day was going to come. I said to everybody, relax. I said, everybody, relax. Sit back and just let Trump do his thing. And then hopefully, and in hopes that he won't go completely crazy, which I was completely wrong. When you sign 37, 38 consecutive orders, and most of them are effective immediately, including the whole gender, he basically is trying to end the gender war. He ended it. He ain't trying, he ended it. He ended it. When he says he possibly kick trans and gays out of the military, he's doing it. He's going to do that. Because he has and this is just my theory, right? This is just my theory of things. When you look at Chang from China, when you look at our enemies overseas, which he's buddied up with, you know how Trump does, because he's not a military person. He's a businessman, a very bad businessman, but a businessman nevertheless. But he knows how to shake the panties off of these dictators. He really does. And so what's going to happen is he is basically going to sell you to the highest bidder by selling our stuff over there. Well, I forgot how that went, but it has something to do with espionage or something like that. I don't want to go further because I don't want to set nobody off and get my channel deleted or anything. Because you know how people are so fucking sensitive nowadays. But anyway, but then there's that freedom of speech. There's that freedom of speech talk. And to go back to a line that, what did he say again? Montree said something very important. He said that he is trying to take civil rights away. You're taking civil rights away. Free speech, taking away civil rights. Free speech, take away civil rights. What does that mean? It means every white person that has the best interest in Donald Trump, and knowing that Donald Trump is going to take white people to the very next level. What am I talking about next level? What the fuck am I talking about? There's nothing new under the sun. He's basically going to take us all the way back. But here's where things are interesting for us. If we're smart, we know, number one, we already know he's going to take white people to the next level. Number two, we already know he's going to take away civil rights. We already know he's going to take away certain funding and certain jobs and put them back where they belong, and then hire certain people. That's why this whole DEI thing came about, and we're going to get to that in a minute. So we need to be prepared. We just need to be a little bit more prepared. I'm not cheering for no snowman. Because the reason why I'm so hyped about this is because a few months ago, some ladies that I was on the podcast with said I was out of my mind if I didn't vote for Kamala Harris, and they kept calling me a manga, whatever the hell that means. And they kept calling me a manga. And then a couple of months going forward, I had an argument with my oldest cousin, saying that you're a fool because you didn't vote for Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris was going to give $600 to all these jobs or something like that. You're a fool. You voted for Donald Trump. I said, no, I didn't. Why did you vote for Kamala Harris? That is just a foolish move. I don't vote for no bitch I can't trust. I have problems with that online right now. Not saying that any of y'all, but y'all great. Y'all perfect, great. But I have no interest in anybody who does not show her policies the first couple of months right after Joe Biden was being pardoned because of his condition. And they were basically going to give her the title anyway, while Joe Biden was no longer functional at the time. And since he was no longer functional, they were going to give her the title of Madam President anyway. They just didn't state it. They were going to give it to her anyway. But at any rate, they kept challenging me. The people, these ladies on the podcast, and they'll be named nameless because they're irrelevant at this point, kept challenging me. And so I said from here on in, I was like, okay, I guess I'm manga then. I am that make America great again, even though I don't have the hat. I went straight to the polls and I voted none of the above. I told them firsthand, I said, you don't have to vote nationally. You can save your vote. And it shows that a lot of people voted for Kamala Harris. 74 black people voted for Kamala Harris. While the rest of the niggas stayed home. Because they want to see jobs coming back. And what is Donald Trump doing? He's bringing jobs back. I know you didn't say you were mega. I don't know what they call that shit. Mega, MAGA, make America great again, all that. You know what I mean. I ain't none of those things. But I can't convince a woman with such pride to the point where I have to basically argue my ass. I had to basically argue with them for a whole hour and a half, stating that these people do not have my best interest. As a matter of fact, nobody but possibly except one person, and that was Cornel West. But nobody wants to pay attention to old ass Cornel West, respectfully. Do you obviously think about it? Do you obviously think that America was going to vote in Cornel West? Think about it. This is a joke. After what happened with Barack Obama and that whole thing with Michelle, oh no. Even though that was afterwards, I mean, they had issues then. And we all saw it. We all saw it that Barack was slicking his way by him. He was just walking smooth all by himself. I forgot what it was. It was some type of funeral that was going on. But everybody was in line. Clinton, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, they were together. The Bushes, they were together. What happened to the Obamas? Obama was by himself. And they all blaming Michelle. Where's Michelle? Where's Michelle? Where's Michelle? Where's Michelle? They're about to get a divorce. They're about to get a divorce. They are about to get a divorce. They are. Oh my goodness. I wonder what Bo thinks. You know who Bo is, right? Bo's the dog. So let's get to this DEI thing. Let's get to this DEI thing. The diversity, equality, and inclusion, right? As a discipline, DEI is any policy or set of incentives, I can't even say that word right, designed to make people of diverse backgrounds feel welcome, which America has yet to make us feel any type of welcome. But anyway, any virtuous backgrounds make us feel welcome, and ensure that they have support to perform to the fullest of their abilities of the workplaces. In other words, they don't care if you're black, white, Hispanic, all them other things. But here in the United States of America, especially in this century, We're welcoming everybody, but the people who are the most qualified always, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, get flat. As a matter of fact, some of these jokers don't get hired in. I'm talking about black people as a whole. Do not get hired in to too many of these factions, whether it be any of these trade jobs is what I mean. Carpentry, electrician, depending on where you live, right? It's all depending on where you live. You rarely get hired in. Anyway, you already have a problem here in the United States, especially here in Nevada, where a minority of you do not get hired in, right? Now he's trying to get rid of all of that, and it's like first come, first serve. Well, they weren't in your best interest to begin with. Your constitutional rights weren't supported. They weren't for you from the very beginning. So why are we shocked, people? Why are we so shocked? Your Constitution wasn't for you. The Supreme Court was never in the best interest of black people. So why are we so shocked? What, we don't have the balls, we don't have the guts to build for ourselves, build a legacy for our children? We wait and wait and wait and wait, and we get distracted by the very thing that doesn't interest us. We're so into what P. Diddy's going, what's going to happen with P. Diddy? What's going to happen with Jay-Z? We're so busy. We're so distracted by these illusions. Jay-Z's a freaking billionaire. He pays his attainers like what, $125,000 a week, a month, however that shit goes. He ain't got your best interest, nor does Diddy. But we're so distracted. And that building institutions ain't a thing for us, but supporting Indians and supporting what's coming up this week for us is Chinese New Year. Jesus. Even though they have Chinese New Year, ladies and gentlemen, they have Chinese New Year in the middle of Black History Month. Tell me, does that make any sense to you? And we are worried about what Donald Trump is going to do? We done lost our damn mind. We done lost our freaking minds. Thinking that this is going to be any different for those who actually are supporting him. I'm talking about for the ones who actually supported him. I'm even talking even more shit about the people who didn't support him. You know why? Because we knew better. But yet, if we're not able to build our institutions, then we are going to support with our money other people who are owners, black owners, I mean. We don't even want to support our own. We've been saying this for years and years and years and years and years. Yet we wait for the biggest thing to happen in the United States of America, and all of a sudden we're shocked because an actor An actor and an entrepreneur has the power to point the finger at you and say you're fired. But he's doing that at a mega level scale. We got a lot of freaking nerve. But, you know, you don't want to listen to me. You definitely don't want to listen to Umar. What does Umar have to say about all this?
Benefit black people in mass. It benefited a couple of token blacks. And I'm sorry, y'all going to lose your little token benefits. But DEI did not benefit the masses of African people. Barack Obama is the first president to use the words diversity, equity, and inclusion in his DEI initiative that he signed in August of 2011, mandating that the federal government take steps to diversify, include, and guarantee equity for minorities. But it was all about the rainbow. That law was about immigrants and rainbow gangers. It was not about black people. Yes, you have a few black people who are going to lose some DEI benefits. But we are 42 million. And when we add our African immigrant brothers and sisters in, we're about 45, 48. I'm going to round it up because they always suppress our numbers. I'm going to round it up to 50 million Africans in America. Somebody help me understand how Barack Obama's DEI has benefited black people in these past 16 years. Help me understand. Affirmative action is not the same as DEI. Affirmative action was destroyed by George Bush in the opening years of the 21st century. He destroyed it. The Supreme Court destroyed it. Affirmative action has not been a governmental priority since Lyndon Baines Johnson. Affirmative action has been dead. Affirmative action been dead. That's why Barack Obama called it diversity, equity, and inclusion. Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? Why didn't Barack Obama call it affirmative action? I'll tell you why Barack Obama didn't call it affirmative action. Barack Obama didn't call it affirmative action because he didn't want it associated with black people. He didn't want it associated with black people. You're fighting for something that was not created to help you. Let me say it again for the kunocracy in the back. You're fighting for something that was not created to help you. Let me say it one more time. You're fighting for something that wasn't created to help you. They are distracting you from your main fights. We should be fighting against mass incarceration. We should be fighting against miseducation. We should be fighting against police genocide. We should be fighting against economic apartheid. We should be fighting against homelessness and gentrification. Not Nelly for performing, not Snoop Dogg, not Black History, and not DEI.
That's too much like right. Because even I did not care if Nelly or Snoop Dogg or Rick Ross performed in the inauguration. These Negroes been doing that for years. Y'all call them sellouts for what? They're entertainers. That's what they do, is entertain. Just like in blackface, these niggas entertain. These niggas don't care about your situation. These niggas do not. These niggas are in a higher tax bracket. What is going on? These Negroes in the higher tax bracket. I don't care what nobody says. I have my own brain and my own mind. Trump knows we will never see what is really going on. He's showing you right in front of you. What are you talking about? He's showing you right in front of you what he is going to do and what is to come. He is basically giving you a blueprint of what he is going to. He said, here, niggers, look here. Read them and weep. You wanted to get rid of me. The people who were taxing or trying to steal money from me wanted to get rid of me. I'm gonna show any and everybody, because it's not about race.
which is bullshit. It's not about black and it's not about white. It's about money. Because I am the capitalist that gets everybody what they want if they follow my lead. He showed you the paper, and he also showed you within 37 consecutive orders, and he's not done yet. He's not done. He's not done. Oh, there's more. Me and Craig were just discussing the whole crypto thing, which I don't mind crypto so much. But it's like I told him, and I'm going to tell you, if I can't hold it in my hand, then it's meaningless. The only thing I'll be able to hold in my hand is what's called a wallet. And if if something happens, if we end up going to war and the lights go out, or if just the lights go out in general, then the wallet is useless. I mean, we're all making money. We're all making money hand over fist, right? Because at one point, crypto was about, Craig, what was crypto like? It was down like so many dial points. It was down. It was like at 60, 50, 60, possibly maybe 40,000. Now I don't even know how much it is right now. But the fact of the matter is, when he said he's going to do something, he does it. Now we're going to see if he's actually bullshitting about them taxes. I don't think he is. Let me see. If I go to my Robin Hood, oh shit, crypto, shit's all the way down, but crypto is constantly moving on. It's constantly moving up to 140 million. It's at 140 million right now. Oh, my bad. 140,000. It went from 60,000 to 140,000. That's my bad. But either way, it's climbing. It is freaking climbing. Yeah, the BTC. Yep, the BTC. That's correct. Yep. But that's my point. When Trump said he's going to do something, he's going to fucking do it, whether people like it or not. If I were you, I would have went to him early with the issues that with any issue that I ever had with American society. I would have went to him. I would have came to him first. Now, if I would have came to Donald Trump because of a problem that he possibly may or may not solve, or he doesn't want to, or whatever, at least I know I came to him first. But now that I didn't, I'm not going to expect anything from him, because he's not going to give it to you anyway, including reparations. Negro, stop. Okay. Come here, Negroes. Every FBA person, every FBA fucking person, I want y'all to come here and listen to me very, very fucking closely. Listen to me. Negroes. Time to wake up. Time to wake up. Fairy tale land is over. You're not getting reparations under Trump. You might get a stimulus package. That's far-fetched, because you had what? You had four stimuluses.
One was 600. The other one was 1,400. The third one was 1,200. I think 1,200, something like that. And then, of course, the other one I really don't know because it resembles from you have to claim it in your taxes. She said, "Who cares? I live for me and my family." We all do. We all do, Lisa. And this is the reason why I say we need to build infrastructure. We have to do what Dr. Claude Anderson entrusted in us to do, because he seen the writing on the wall years ago, and it falls on deaf ears. Why? Because we can't settle we can't even learn to settle our differences, because we're fighting amongst ourselves who what type of pussy we're gonna get. I want this type of, I want this, I want this, I want that. You're not gonna get it. Oh, she's a hoe. What did I hear earlier today? Something about some woman converting from being a slut to being a Christian, a child of God, basically being born again, and she's being shunned all over the freaking internet. And this is a black woman. This is an all black woman. So why would I, a man of the cloth, why would I give any fucks, if I can find any, about what Donald Trump does? I could care less about what's going on here in America under white supremacy. We all know this. The question is, what are we willing to do? Yes, I said we, Craig. Top flight security of the world, Craig. Why? Is this stuffy in here, or is it just me? So, if I were you, I would not worry about any DEIs or anything like that. Make your own executive order. Make your own executive order and see if it doesn't benefit. See if it doesn't benefit for yourself.
Talking about Donald Trump and all this DEI stuff, which he's doing away with, and of course he's causing other businesses to do away with it. Have a listen to this teacher having an absolute meltdown over the fact that DEI policies are being torn up, because by not having a DEI policy, it is in some way a threat to my life. My very existence is against the idea of there not being DEI.
My name is Dr. Tracy Castro-Gill. My pronouns are they, them. I am a disabled queer Chicanekis educator and scholar in Washington State with my expertise on curriculum.
Did she say queer? I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it. She just kept throwing in all these words. What? Let me start over.
He's on curriculum and instruction. With my expertise on curriculum and scholar in Washington. I am a disabled queer Chicanekis educator and scholar in Washington State with my expertise on curriculum.
Whatever.
Curriculum and instruction. These are markers that were made illegal recently in the federal government. However, my very presence and humanity is in opposition to that legislation. I want to remind us that George Orwell, in his novel 1984, warned us about limiting how we are allowed to define ourselves and our experiences, and how that allows fascism to take root.
Very sorry, that was actually tonight's episode of South Park. I mean, for goodness sake, if your existence is somehow anathema to the idea of DEI, or, the DEI means that you have your job, it means you shouldn't have your job, does it not? I mean, she's just saying out loud the quiet part. If it weren't for DEI, I probably wouldn't have any employment. Well, you don't deserve the employment, do you?
That's a classic example of Trump derangement syndrome stage 5. For which there is just no cure.
No.
But the other thing that doesn't make sense, and maybe I need to be helped on this, but she describes herself as transgendered, blah, 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 Chicanaki, which is a non-binary Mexican. How can you be transgendered and non-binary at the same? That doesn't kind of
You're
make
not
sense.
supposed to question these things, Matt.
Well, I want to
It's not
understand.
supposed to make sense.
These people want to take the entire freaking alphabet and turn it into some. I don't get it. First you're gay, but you're non-binary. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's real and what's fake anymore. With this whole, they took the alphabet and they turned it into something bad. Even though history says we should be reading a book backwards, which is, I'll explain it to you on a different live stream. I'll explain it to you on a different live stream because most of us don't even know who we are nationally. Nationally, we don't even know who we are. We're African Americans. That's not a nationality. That is a status. We're fucked. We're fucked. We're so fucked. It's ridiculous. I just can't stand it. I can't stand it. Sometimes you have to laugh or keep from crying. You have to laugh or keep from crying. But last but not least, the Orange Man himself, Donald Trump.
Okay, very good. We signed some executive orders. They were very important in just about every case. And it will go through the first one, please.
Do you want to? Yeah, Mr. President, this is an executive order on crypto. We're going to be. Oh, sorry, we're doing. I'm sorry. This is an executive order on AI. We're basically.
Damn, he went too fast. He went too fast, Craig. he dipped into crypto though.
Announcing the administration's policy to make America the world capital in artificial intelligence and to dominate and to lead the world in AI.
Do you want to say your name, your full name?
David
and
Sachs,
serial?
AI and crypto czar.
David is one of the greatest in the world at AI. Most respected, probably there is.
Now let me ask you a question.
So that should take us.
Let me ask you a question, people. Do you believe that AI is helping or hurting society? Do you believe AI is helping or hurting society? Lisa? What's the next one?
We'll have one crypto under your leadership.
Which is really going up.
This is the crypto EO. We're going to be forming an internal working group to make make America the world capital in crypto. Under your
There you go, Craig.
Which is really going up.
We're going to be making money, dog.
All right, David, that's for you. Thanks. You find them exciting? They might not be exciting, but we're going to make a lot of money for the country.
Thank you, sir.
And so is David. You have to check him out. There's nobody like this guy. He said, "How did you get David Sachs? How did you do that?" And he's doing it for the country more than anything else. So we appreciate it, David. Thank you very much.
This is an executive order establishing a presidential commission, an advisory commission on science and technology.
Good. You want to explain that a little bit?
The basic idea is to get together top people from government, the private sector, technology industry, as well as educational institutions, to make sure that America maintains its leadership position with respect to science and technology development in the years ahead.
Good. That's great.
Next, sir, we have a presidential memorandum encouraging departments and agencies in your government, including the Department of the Interior, to promote federal recognition of the Lumbee tribe of North Carolina.
I love the Lumbee tribe. So this is their first big step, right?
This would be a huge step for them.
Yeah, they were with me all the way. They were great. North Carolina, Lumbee tribe.
Why is everybody shocked that he paints his face? the man, let me not fuck around. Let me not fuck around with this face. Let's just continue this borderline BS that he signed him here and in Florida and in Noble Office.
Send them a copy of that?
Yes, sir.
They were great. Okay.
And if you'd like, I could get them that pen, sir, as well.
Yeah, let's do that.
Next, we have a set of pardons for peaceful pro-life protesters who were prosecuted by the Biden administration for exercising their First
100 as my, I think it was, I'm trying to think of how many people were prosecuted then. I think this was back in January 6th when all those people were storming the Capitol. I think it was like 126 or something like that. I might be wrong. I definitely might be wrong on that, but let me check.
Amendment rights.
Do you know how many?
I believe it's 23, sir.
23 people.
So I was off. So I was definitely off. It was 23 people. My bad.
That were prosecuted. They should not have been prosecuted. Many of them are elderly people. They should not have been prosecuted. This is a great honor to sign this.
Now, you know, those same people are not only going to have the right to do whatever they want to do under Trump now, but one of them indicated that they were going to get more guns, more terroristic things. But this is not our problem. This is not our problem, black people, because we need our own guns. We need our own defense. We need our own defenses. We need our bulletproof vests. Bulletproof vests. Y'all ain't hearing me?
They'll be very happy. So they're all in prison now.
Some are out of custody.
It's ridiculous. Okay.
Lastly, sir, we have an executive order ordering the declassification of files relating to the assassinations of President John F. Kennedy, Senator Robert F. Kennedy, and the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
That's a big one, huh? A lot of people are waiting for this for years, for decades. And everything will be revealed. Okay?
Yeah, including the allegedly he cheated on his wife type deal. Everybody be waiting for that.
Give that to RFK Jr.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Mr. President, Mr. President, a U.S. judge temporarily blocks the birthright citizenship order. Do you have any reaction?
No, obviously we'll appeal it. They put it before a certain judge in Seattle, I guess, right? And there's no surprises with that judge.
Mr. President, Senators Collins and Murkowski have now said they will vote against Pete Hegseth. Are you worried about his confirmation and your reaction?
And no surprises there. It's too bad. You know, it's just the way it is. Too bad.
And when would you adjourn Congress to make recess appointments, Mr. President?
Well, I'd take a look at that. I'd listen to John Thune. He's doing a fantastic job. We're moving along. The Democrats are trying to delay government, as they always do. They can't help themselves. Even John Ratcliffe, who's very, very strong, very popular, and liked by the Democrats. I guess he gets a lot of Democrat votes. That's taking a long time, and it shouldn't be taking a long time. They're maxing everything out so they can delay everything as much as possible.
Does Senator Thune support an effort to use recess appointments if you choose to do that?
I'd be willing to use recess appointments. It's up to John. We'll see. And John Thune's a great guy, great senator, knows his stuff inside out and backwards. But I would use recess appointments if he wants to do that. Absolutely. The Democrats are just delaying. They always delay.
Mr. President, you spoke with the Saudi Crown Prince yesterday.
Who?
The Saudi Crown Prince. How was the call?
Right.
They said $600 billion they're gonna invest.
600. I'll ask him for $1 trillion.
You said you're gonna ask for $1 trillion. Will Saudi Arabia be?
Well, y'all get the point. You get the point. He signed for executive orders and blah 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 blah. That was only like 8, but he signed the rest, like I said, in Florida and some other places that he's been to. But January 20th, he was not playing. Right after the inauguration, he got to work, or during the inauguration, he got to work. Craig's excited. He's excited. It's like, we gonna make some money now. Fuck! It's about time. We gonna make this money off of crypto and any digital currency that there is. Nigga, they ain't gonna get rid of money. We can still have money in our pocket. What I did say was, save up to get some silver, save up to get some gold. That's what I said. That's what I originally stated. Now, if anybody is worried about him making executive orders, executive decisions of anything of any kind, getting rid of your civil rights, stop with this whole gender specific thing, man being in the women's bathroom, women being in the men's bathroom, him stopping us from paying taxes. If you have any concerns or any questions, or if you have a concern, let's just start there. If you have a concern, if you think things are going to get worse before they get better, please put a 2 in the chat. Put a 2 in the chat if you think things are going to get worse before they get better. Please put a 2 in the chat. And the only thing I'm going to say to you is, oh well. That's all I'm going to say to you is, oh well. Put a 2 in the chat. Put a 1 if you are concerned. I'm not concerned about it at all. What I am concerned about is continuously living my life, saving up enough money so we can move up out of this raggedy little shithole. 3.5. He playing around. 3.5.
Yeah, well, pretty much is what it was. I'm not worried about it because guess what? We're gonna keep doing what black folks continuously do. We're gonna keep making money, and we're gonna keep making money hand over fist. Yeah, yeah. We're gonna keep making money hand over fist. Now, for those who want to get themselves out of a situation, do not hesitate. Or let me put it this way. Go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to this particular channel, We-On-Loc Nation. Just hit like in the subscribe button. And then we got some experts. We got some experts that'll really blow your mind on what things to do, what things not to do, and what things to look forward, what things to look after. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is nothing to worry about. I guarantee you, this is nothing to worry about. I'm not shaking in my boots. I'm not quivering. I'm not losing blood. I have high blood. I don't have high blood pressure or low blood pressure. The point is, I'm not worried about this shit at all. I'm not. Let the games begin. We're going to have to cut this a little short, ladies and gentlemen, because I got to help my daughter with a couple of things because she is sick right now. And I was going to go in on this knucklehead online. Maybe I'll do it later on tonight. You never know. But I got to help my daughter with some homework and stuff. And she's not feeling well. And my, the wife and the wife of my son, they're off to church. So I got to help her with a couple of things. So we're going to have to cut this shit a little bit short. But I thought I'd come over here not too long to entertain you on some shit that you shouldn't, that people were up in arms about. Oh, Donald Trump is gonna get rid of the gays, and I told you he was gonna do that. I told you that. But he's not trying to make America great again for y'all. Not for y'all, not for black folks. Oh, no, no, no. He's not going to make America great again for y'all. He's going to make America great again for white citizens who do pay taxes and all this other shit. For those who make a low significant amount of money, like let's just say $60,000. You ended up, I'm telling you, I would rather you be in a place where we can learn from entrepreneurs, black entrepreneurs, and there are plenty of them. You just need to find them. And get some instructions from them what we need to do to survive. It is what it is. Don't go to bed at night worrying about where's your next meal gonna come from. Don't worry about that shit. Don't worry about it, because good things will come if you believe that they will come. Be smart now. I'm gonna tell you, be smart now. I'm going to tell you to be smart, read, and listen, but don't give in. Don't give in to all this nonsense, because all it's going to do is just slow down your process. That's all it's going to do. Because you were property from the very beginning of all this shit. You were property. The only thing about it is they don't have to hire your black ass. But I gotta go. I'll see y'all in a minute.
Peace.